Ladies and gentlemen, there are some of you here today who feel a weight on your shoulders that you cannot explain. You are not like everyone else. You do not fit in with the crowd. And deep down, you know, your life is not meant to be ordinary. The burden of responsibility is not something that most people seek out willingly. It is a weight that presses down on those who are called to something greater, shaping them into individuals capable of carrying the immense tasks set before them. When you are truly anointed, you do not have the luxury of choosing an easy life. Your very existence is marked by a relentless sense of duty, a purpose that demands your full commitment whether you feel ready or not. Many people go through life trying to avoid responsibility. They seek comfort, security, and ease, doing just enough to get by without being burdened by expectations that require them to sacrifice their personal desires. But this is not an option for those who are dangerously anointed. If you are called to something greater, you will feel an inescapable pull toward action. You cannot ignore it. You cannot silence it. No matter how much you try to blend in, no matter how much you attempt to live an ordinary life, something inside you refuses to let you rest. This is the burden of responsibility. It is the understanding that you have been entrusted with something beyond yourself, something that will demand every ounce of strength, resilience, and character that you possess. It is not a choice, it is an obligation. The moment you recognize this, your life is no longer your own. You become a vessel for a purpose that is bigger than your comfort, bigger than your fears, and bigger than your personal ambitions. When you are dangerously anointed, you do not get to drift through life without direction. You are driven by a force that does not allow stagnation. Others may take detours, indulge in distractions, or seek temporary pleasure. But you cannot afford such luxuries. There is work to be done. This is not about arrogance, it's about necessity. If you do not rise to the occasion, who will? If you do not take responsibility, who will step up in your place? The burden of responsibility is heavy because it comes with the knowledge that your actions or inactions have consequences beyond yours. The decisions you make will impact lives, shape futures, and determine outcomes. The dangerously anointed understand that they are not operating in isolation. They are part of a grander design, a divine orchestration where every move matters. There is no room for carelessness, no space for indifference. The weight you carry is a sign that your life is not trivial, that your existence has significance beyond what you can see. And yet, this responsibility is not just about action, it is about endurance. Many will crumble under the weight of expectation, seeking ways to escape, to relinquish their duty in favor of an easier path. But if you are truly anointed, you will find that no matter how exhausted, no matter how tempted to quit, something within you refuses to break. It is an internal fortitude, a deep-seated resilience that will not allow you to abandon the mission you were given. Even when you feel unqualified, even when you doubt yourself, you will find yourself standing back up, ready to push forward. People will not always understand this burden. They may call you obsessed, intense, or even reckless. They may question why you put yourself through the struggle, why you carry the weight when you could simply let it go and live like everyone else. But they do not see what you see. They do not feel what you feel. You cannot explain the compulsion that drives you, the voice inside that tells you that quitting is not an option. And so, you move forward alone, carrying a responsibility that few will ever comprehend. There is a loneliness that comes with great responsibility. When you are dangerously anointed, you will find that fewer and fewer people walk beside you. The higher you rise, the heavier the burden, and the lonelier the road becomes. Many admire leadership, but few truly understand the cost. To lead, to be called to something greater, is to bear the weight of decisions that affect others, to endure the criticism of those who do not understand your vision, and to persist even when every fiber of your being screams for relief. But here is the paradox. Though the burden is great, so too is the reward. Those who embrace responsibility, who accept the weight of their calling, are the ones who change the world. They are the ones who shift the course of history, who leave behind legacies that outlive them. They do not seek comfort because they know that fulfillment does not come from ease. It comes from purpose. Others, they do not run from responsibility because they recognize requirement. If you find yourself feeling an overwhelming sense of responsibility, if you feel the weight of something greater pressing upon you, do not mistake it for a curse. It is a sign that you are not ordinary, a sign that you are built for more. The burden you carry is the evidence of the anointing upon your life. It is the mark of someone who has been chosen, someone who has been entrusted with a mission that others cannot handle. You may not always feel ready. You may not always feel strong. But if the burden is upon you, then you have already been given everything you need to carry it. Step into it. Own it. Embrace the weight of your calling and let it shape you into the person you were always meant to be. If you are dangerously anointed, you will not move through life unnoticed. You will face resistance, fierce, relentless, and often irrational. It will not simply be a matter of people disagreeing with you or circumstances becoming difficult. No, the opposition will be strategic, calculated, and directed at the very core of who you are. Oh, it will come from places you least expect, and at times when you feel least prepared. But this is not a mistake. It is a confirmation. When you carry a great calling, the world does not sit back and applaud. Instead, it reacts, it resists. It fights back with everything it has, because an anointed person is a threat. A threat to stagnation, to mediocrity, to the status quo. You are not meant to simply exist. You are meant to shift things, to bring change, to disrupt patterns that have long been in place. And that is precisely why the moment you step into your purpose, you become a target. Opposition will not come only from enemies. Sometimes it will come from the very people you thought would support you. Friends, family, mentors, and colleagues may begin to distance themselves. Some may question your motives, criticize your vision, or even attempt to undermine your efforts. This can be one of the hardest aspects of walking in your anointing, the realization that not everyone who once walked with you will continue on the journey. This kind of resistance is painful because it feels personal, makes you question yourself, makes you wonder if you are on the wrong path. After all, if you were doing the right thing, wouldn't the people closest to you see it? Wouldn't they celebrate it? But here's the hard truth. When you are truly anointed, your presence exposes things in others. It forces them to confront their own limitations, their own fears, and their own unwillingness to step into something greater. And rather than face that discomfort, many will choose to resist instead. You must understand that this is not about you. It is about what you carry. The opposition you face is not just against your ideas, your plans, or your personality. It is against the anointing that is upon you. The very presence of someone walking in divine purpose agitates those who are unwilling to embrace their own. It stirs jealousy in those who have settled for less. It provokes anger in those who fear change. It invites scrutiny from those who prefer comfort over courage. There will be moments when the opposition is so intense that you will be tempted to retreat. You will wonder if the fight is worth it, if stepping into your calling is truly what you were meant to do. After all, wouldn't it be easier to just blend in, to move through life unnoticed, to avoid making waves? Yes, it would be easier, but that is not your path. You were not anointed for ease, you were anointed for impact. And impact always comes at a cost. History is filled with those who carried great callings and faced great resistance. Look at any figure who changed the world, and you will see someone who was met with opposition at every turn. The prophets, the visionaries, the revolutionaries, all of them had to endure fierce resistance before they could fulfill their purpose. Their words were rejected, their actions were criticized, and their very existence was seen as a problem to be solved. But they did not. They did not shrink back. They understood that opposition was not a sign of failure, but a sign that they were on the right path. You must adopt the same mindset. When the resistance comes, when the pressure mounts, when the attacks become personal, stand firm. Do not be surprised when the opposition intensifies. Expect it. Prepare for it. Because if you are truly anointed, the attacks will not stop, but neither will your purpose. The key is to recognize that opposition is not just an obstacle, it is a necessary part of the process. It refines you. It strengthens you. It forces you to grow in ways that ease never could. If everything came easily, you would never develop the resilience required to sustain the weight of your calling. If no one ever challenged you, you would never be forced to sharpen your vision, to clarify your purpose, to prove to yourself and the world that you are truly committed. And so embrace the resistance. Do not run from it. Do not let it make you bitter, but let it make you stronger. When people speak against you, let it remind you that your voice matters. When doors close in your face, let it push you to create new opportunity. When the weight of opposition feels unbearable, remind yourself that the anointing you carry is far greater than anything that stands against you. Because at the end of the day, resistance is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are moving in the right direction. The enemy does not attack those who are doing nothing. The world does not resist those who blend in. But if you are dangerous, if you are anointed, if you are stepping into something powerful, then opposition is inevitable. And that is why you must not stop. Not now, not ever. There is something unusual about those who are dangerously anointed. No matter how much they are battered, no matter how many obstacles are thrown their way, they do not break. They endure. They persist. They may be wounded, exhausted, or even on the verge of collapse, but something within them refuses to give up. It is an unexplainable endurance, a resilience that cannot be taught or manufactured. It is a force that carries them through storms that would crush ordinary people. This endurance is not simply the result of strong willpower or personal determination. It is something deeper, something supernatural. It is the evidence that they are sustained by something beyond themselves. When you are truly anointed, you are upheld that defies human logic. People will look at you and wonder how you are still standing. They will see the trials you have endured, the betrayals you have faced, the losses you have suffered, and they will expect you to have given up long ago. And yet they were still moving forward, still pushing through, still refusing to quit. There will be moments in your journey when you will be physically drained, emotionally exhausted, and spiritually weary. They will not understand why you think the way you do, why you are so determined, why you cannot just settle like everyone else. This can be frustrating, even painful. Humans crave connection. We want to belong, to be understood, to be accepted by those around us. But when you are truly anointed, you will find that deep, effortless connection is rare. You will have moments where you feel completely alone, even in a crowded room. You will sit among people who have known you for years, and yet you will feel like a stranger. Because what is inside you is different. It is uncommon. It is not meant to fit neatly into the molds that others accept. This separation is not something you choose. It is something that chooses you. It is a part of the anointing. When you are called to something greater, you are naturally set apart. But you cannot follow the same path as everyone else because your destination is different. You cannot adopt the same mindset as the crowd because you are meant to lead, not follow. People may misunderstand this. They may see your unwillingness to conform as rebellion or arrogance. They may accuse you of thinking too highly of yourself, of trying to be better than others. But they do not realize that this separation is not about status or superiority. It is about purpose. It is about alignment. When you are anointed, you are on a specific path, and not everyone is meant to walk it with you. This can be one of the hardest aspects of carrying a great call. You will lose relationships. You will outgrow friendship. You will watch people drift away not because of conflict, but simply because your journey no longer aligns with theirs. There will be moments when you long for the simplicity of just fitting in, of just being a normal. But normal is not your destiny. Normal is not where your purpose lies. Over time, you will begin to recognize this separation as a gift rather than a burden. Because the truth is, being set apart protects you. It keeps you from distractions that would slow you down. It prevents you from settling for less than what you were meant to achieve. It ensures that you remain focused on the mission you have been given. If you were too comfortable, too at home among the crowd, you would not feel the push to keep moving forward. This does not mean that you are meant to be completely alone forever. There will be people who understand you, but they will be few. They will not be found in the places of the ordinary. They will be found on the same difficult path you walk. They too will be people who have been set apart, people who carry a similar weight of responsibility. These connections will not be forced. They will be divine. You must be willing to walk alone. You must be willing to embrace the discomfort of being different, the reality of not always being understood. Do not waste time trying to make people see what they are not ready to see. Do not shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. The very fact that you feel separate is proof that you are being positioned for something greater. Many will try to blend in, to live lives of quiet mediocrity, to avoid standing out, but that is not your path. The anointing on your life ensures that you will never be able to live small, never be able to disappear into the crowd. You will always feel a pull towards something greater, something beyond the ordinary, and that is not a burden, it is a calling, so embrace it. Accept that you were never meant to be like everyone else. Stop fighting this separation and start seeing it for what it is. Preparation. You are being positioned for something extraordinary. You are being shaped for a purpose that most people will never understand. And one day, when you step fully into that purpose, you will look back and realize that every moment of isolation, every season of loneliness, every feeling of being different was leading you exactly where you were meant to be. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are set apart. And that is the greatest confirmation that you are dangerously anointed. When you are dangerously anointed, there will be an undeniable force within you that compels you to act. You will not be able to sit idly by while things remain broken. You will not be able to ignore problems that others pretend do not exist. There will be a fire inside of you that refuses to let you stay silent. Refuses to let you remain passive, refuses to let you accept things as they are. This is not a choice, it is an unshakable drive, a relentless urgency that pushes you forward even when you wish you could just rest. This compulsion to act is not something that can be switched off. It is not something you can negotiate with. It does not let up simply because you are tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. It remains pressing on you like a weight you cannot set down. Even when you try to walk away from it, it follows you. Even when you attempt to ignore it, it finds a way to remind you of what you are meant to do. Many people live their lives comfortably disconnected from the urgency of their purpose. They move through the world without feeling the burden of responsibility, without sensing the weight of the work that needs to be done. But you are different. You cannot escape it. You see things others do not see. You feel things others do not feel. There is an awareness inside of you that refuses to let you simply exist. It demands that you make a difference. This urgency will often make you. It will make it difficult for you to tolerate complacency both in yourself and in others. You will find it frustrating when people do not share your sense of purpose. You will struggle to understand how others can be so indifferent, so willing to accept mediocrity, so comfortable with staying the same. But you must understand that not everyone carries what you carry. Not everyone has been anointed to shift things, to bring transformation, to initiate change. And because you have been, the fire inside of you will never let you settle. This urgency will sometimes feel like a burden. There will be moments when you wish you could simply relax, when you long to just blend in and live a quiet, predictable life. But that is not an option for you. The anointing on your life ensures that you will always be drawn towards something greater. You will always feel the need to step up, to lead, to take responsibility when others shrink back. This is not a burden to resent. It is evidence of your calling. At times, this relentless drive may make you feel like you are running a race with no finish line. You will accomplish something significant, only to feel the urgency to move on to the next challenge. You will experience moments of victory, but the satisfaction will never last long because there is always more to do. This is because your anointing is not tied to one accomplishment or one season. It is a lifelong goal. You were not meant for temporary success. You were meant to be a continual force of transformation. This urgency is also what will separate you from the ordinary. It will push you beyond what most people are willing to do. When others become content, you will keep growing. When others slow down, you will keep moving. When others settle for good enough, you will push for excellence. And this will make you stand out. It will make people take notice. Some will admire your drive. Others will resent it. Some will be inspired by your urgency. Others will be intimidated by it. But regardless of how people react, you must not allow their opinions to dictate your pace. There will be times when people tell you to slow down, to relax, to stop pushing so hard. They will not understand why you feel the need to keep striving. Keep building, keep pursuing something greater. They will tell you to be satisfied with where you are, to be grateful for what you have already achieved. But what they do not understand is that this urgency is not about personal ambition. It is about fulfilling the purpose that has been placed inside of you. It is about carrying out the assignment you have been given. This urgency is what ensures that you do not waste your potential. It is what prevents you from becoming stagnant. It is what drives you to keep evolving, to keep learning, to keep pressing forward even when the road is difficult. It is the force that keeps you from giving up when everything around you seems to be working against you. It is also what keeps you aligned with your mission. Without it, you would be tempted to settle for a life of comfort and ease. Without it, you would be at risk of becoming distracted by things that do not truly matter. But because you carry this urgency, you remain focused, you remain committed. You remain dedicated to what you were called to do. And so even though this fire inside of you can sometimes feel overwhelming, even though it can make you feel exhausted, even though it can make you feel isolated, embrace it. Recognize it for what it is, proof that you are dangerously anointed. Proof that you are meant to do something extraordinary. Proof that you have been entrusted with a mission that few are willing to take on. Do not fight the urgency. Do not try to suppress it. Let it drive you. Let it refine you. Let it push you into the fullness of what you were meant to become. Because at the end of your life, you will not regret the effort, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices. You will only regret the moments you held back when you were meant to push forward. So go, move, act, do what you were called to do. Because you were never meant to be passive. You were meant to change the world. When you are dangerously anointed, opposition will find you. It does not matter how pure your intentions are, how selfless your motives may be, or how much you want peace, resistance will come. And not just any resistance, but relentless, targeted attacks that seem almost supernatural in their precision and intensity. You will face obstacles that appear out of nowhere, betrayals that cut deeper than expected, and setbacks that seem unfair and unwarranted. But this is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is in fact confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. The world does not resist those who do nothing. If you were just another person floating through life without impact, you would face no opposition. No one wastes time attacking someone who is not a threat. But when you are truly anointed, when you carry something powerful, something disruptive to the status quo, you will draw resistance like a magnet. The weight of your calling will attract the weight of opposition. And the more significant your purpose, the more intense the battles would be. This opposition will not always come in obvious ways. It will not always be a blatant attack. Sometimes it will come in the form of subtle distractions, opportunities that seem good but pull you away from your true mission. It will come in the form of people who try to manipulate you, who seek to derail your focus with their own agenda. It will come in the form of internal battles, doubt, fear, insecurity, that whisper in your mind, trying to convince you that you are not capable, that you are not worthy, that you should just walk away. There will be times when the opposition is overwhelming. You will question if it is worth it. You will wonder why things seem to be harder for you than for others. You will see people who take shortcuts, who manipulate their way to success, who do not carry the burdens you carry, and you will be tempted to envy their ease. But you must remember, ease is not the measure of greatness. Struggle is the price of impact. If you were meant to do something small, your path would be easy. But because your calling is great, your challenges will be great as well. One of the most difficult aspects of opposition is that it often comes from unexpected places. You may assume that your greatest battles will come from enemies, from those who openly oppose you. But more often, the attacks come from those you once trusted, from those who once walked beside you. Friends will turn into adversaries. People you once confided in will betray your trust. Those who once supported you will suddenly become critics, questioning your every move. This can be one of the most painful aspects of being anointed. The realization that not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. This is where many people break. They take betrayal personally. They let disappointment turn into bitterness. They allow the wounds inflicted by others to make them question their purpose. But if you are dangerously anointed, you must understand that opposition is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign of your significance. The enemy does not attack what is weak. The fiercest battles are always reserved for the strongest warriors. You must learn to stand firm in the face of opposition. You must develop the resilience to keep moving forward even when everything seems to be against you. This does not mean that you ignore the pain, that you pretend to be unaffected. It means that you refuse to let the opposition define you. It means that you acknowledge the difficulty but choose to press on anyway. And here is the truth. Every great person who has ever done something meaningful has faced opposition. Every leader, every visionary, every trailblazer has encountered fierce resistance. They have been misunderstood, criticized, attacked, and betrayed, but they did not let it stop them. They understood that opposition is simply part of the journey. Your response to opposition will determine your destiny. You can allow it to make you bitter, or you can allow it to make you better. You can allow it to shake your confidence, or you can allow it to refine your character. You can allow it to drive you into hiding, or you can allow it to propel you forward with even greater determination. Opposition is not there to break you. It is there to build you. It is there to strengthen your resolve, to purify your motives, to teach you endurance. It is there to strip away what is unnecessary and prepare you for the weight of your calling. Because the truth is, if you cannot handle opposition now, you will not be able to handle the responsibility that comes later. So do not fear the resistance, do not run from the battle. Face it, stand in it. Let it shape you. And remember, if you are facing great opposition, it is because you carry something powerful. It is because your presence disrupts the plans of those who want things to remain as they are. It is because you were never meant to live an ordinary life. You are dangerously anointed. And that means the battle will come. But it also means that you have everything within you to win. When you are dangerously anointed, you will carry a level of wisdom and insight that others struggle to understand. Your mind will operate. You will see connections where others see only fragments. You will understand patterns that others overlook. You will perceive things beneath the surface, hidden motives, deeper truths, the unspoken realities that dictate the outcomes of situations. This is not simply intelligence. It is a divine gift, a sharpened awareness that allows you to navigate life with a depth that others may never reach. This kind of wisdom of formal education alone, nor is it simply a product of experience. It is something placed inside of you, something that grows as you walk in your calling. It manifests as an uncanny ability to read situations accurately, to see beyond appearances, to discern what is really at work behind the scenes. It allows you to make decisions that others do not understand at the time, but later realize were exactly right. Because of this, you will often feel ahead of the curve. You will recognize problems before they become obvious to everyone else. You will sense when something is off even when there is no immediate evidence. You will see possibilities where others see only dead ends. And while this may seem like a blessing, it can also be frustrating. Because while you see things clearly, others may not be ready to accept what you are trying to show them. People will misunderstand your wisdom. Some will dismiss it as overthinking. paranoia, or others will question why you refuse to follow the obvious path, why you seem to make choices that do not make sense to them. But what they do not realize is that you are operating on a different level of awareness. You are not reacting to what is happening in the moment. You are responding to what you know is coming. This wisdom will set you apart. It will make you a natural leader, even when you do not seek leadership. People will come to you for advice, drawn to your insight, sensing that you see things they do not. They will seek your guidance in moments of crisis, relying on your ability to navigate uncertainty. And yet, the same people who admire your wisdom in one moment may reject it in another. They will ask for your insight, but then ignore it. They will seek your counsel, but then resent you when your truth challenges their comfort. Carrying this kind of wisdom is a heavy responsibility. It requires patience. It requires discernment. You will not always be able to share what you know, at least not immediately. Some people are not ready to hear the truth. Unforcing them to see it before they are prepared will only create conflict. You will have to learn when to speak and when to remain silent, when to lead and when to wait, when to act and when to let things unfold. This wisdom will also make solitude a familiar experience. Because you think differently, process differently, and perceive differently, you will often find yourself walking a lonely road. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will be able to keep up with you. There will be moments when you feel disconnected, not because you wish to be alone, but because your perspective is simply different. But you must not let this discourage you. The weight of wisdom is a sign of your anointing. It is proof that you have been entrusted with something powerful, and while it may not always be easy, it is necessary, because the world does not need more people who simply follow trends, who react impulsively, who live without depth or direction. The world needs those who can see clearly, who can navigate uncertainty, who can bring light to confusion. There will be moments when your wisdom is tested. When people challenge your decisions, when they question your choices, when they doubt your discernment, you may even begin to doubt yourself. In these moments, you must trust the gift inside of you. Trust the insight you have been given. Trust that you see what you see for a reason. And understand this: true wisdom does not need to be validated by the approval of others. You do not need everyone to understand you. You do not need constant affirmation. The evidence of your wisdom will be in the results. Time will prove what people failed to see in the moment. Those who doubted you will eventually realize that you were right all along. Those who dismissed you will one day look back and wish they had listened. So do not shrink back. Do not second-guess yourself just because others do not understand. Do not compromise your insight just to fit in. Stand firm in what you know. Keep walking in your wisdom. Keep trusting what you see. Because you are not just thinking differently for the sake of being different. You are not just seeing things for the sake of being special. You have been given this wisdom because you are meant to use it. You are meant to lead. You are meant to build. You are meant to shape the future in ways that others cannot yet comprehend. You are dangerously anointed, and your wisdom is part of the proof. When you are dangerously anointed, there will be a relentless pull towards something greater than yourself. You will feel an undeniable sense of destiny, a weight in your spirit that refuses to let you remain ordinary. This is not mere ambition or a desire for success. It is a calling that burns deep within you, something placed in significance. You will find yourself drawn toward purpose in ways that others are not. While many may be content to drift through life, seeking comfort and stability, you will never be able to settle for mediocrity. Something inside of you will always be calling you higher. This sense of destiny will not always be clear. There will be seasons where you do not fully understand where you are being led. You will have moments of confusion, moments where the path ahead is obscured by uncertainty. But even in these moments, you will feel the pull. You will know deep down that you were made for something significant, even if you cannot yet see what it is. This is one of the marks of being dangerously anointed. Your purpose is so great that it unfolds in layers, revealed only as you step forward in faith. Because of this, you will often feel restless. You will struggle with environments that do not challenge you. You will find it difficult to stay in places that do not align with your calling. You will sense when it is time to move on, even when others do not understand why. This will sometimes create tension with those around you. People will question why you cannot just be satisfied. They will tell you to be grateful for what you have, to stop chasing something bigger. But what they do not understand is that this is not about personal ambition. This is about destiny. The pull of your calling will often separate you from others. You will outgrow certain relationships, certain mindsets, certain environments. This is not because you are better than anyone else, but because what is inside of you requires more. You cannot afford to remain in places that do not challenge you, that do not stretch you, and that do not push you toward your highest potential. And because of this, you will have to make hard choices. You will have to walk away from what is familiar in order to step into what is greater. This journey will not be easy. There will be moments of isolation, moments when you feel like no one truly understands what you are carrying. You will have to make sacrifices that others are unwilling to make. You will have to say no to distractions, to opportunities that seem good but are not aligned with your purpose. You will have to be disciplined in ways that others are not. Because when you are dangerously anointed, you do not have the luxury of living without intention. Every choice you make either moves you closer to your destiny or pulls you further away. One of the greatest struggles you will face is the temptation to shrink back. There will be moments when the weight of your calling feels too heavy. You will look at the challenges ahead and wonder if you are truly capable. You will see the sacrifices required and question whether it is worth it. And in these moments, you will be tempted to settle, to choose the easy path, to blend in, to silence the voice inside of you that keeps calling you higher. But you must resist this temptation. Because the truth is, if you ignore your calling, you will never truly be at peace. Many people try to run from their purpose. They try to suppress the pull they feel inside of them. They try to convince themselves that they can be content, living an average life. But no matter how hard they try, the calling remains. It does not fade. It does not disappear. It lingers, reminding them that they were meant for more. And the longer they resist it, the more restless they become. Because when you are dangerously anointed, you cannot escape your destiny. You can delay it, but you cannot erase it. This is why you must embrace the calling on your life. You must surrender to it fully, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it requires sacrifice, even when it demands more of you than you think you can give. Because the truth is, you were created for this. Every challenge you face is preparing you. Every struggle is refining you. Every obstacle is shaping you into the person you need to be in order to walk fully in your purpose. You must also understand that your destiny is not just about you. Your calling is meant to impact others. There are people who will be influenced by your obedience, people whose lives will be changed because you chose to step into what you were created to do. This is bigger than personal success. This is about legacy. This is about fulfilling the purpose that was placed inside of you before you even took your first breath. So do not ignore the pull. Do not resist the calling. Do not let fear keep you from stepping into the greatness you were created for. The road will not be easy, but it will be worth it.